Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You've given us a fascinating challenge today, diving into the world of AI and how it's shaking things up for teachers, leaders, and trainers.
And we've got some great material to work with. We're diving deep into Mohit Rajhans' book, Rethinking with AI, alongside some really interesting points from artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Think of this deep dive as your crash course on not just what AI can do, but how you can actually use it in your work. No hype, just practical applications. And one of the biggest takeaways from Rethinking with AI is this. It's time to move beyond just thinking of AI as a trend.
It's about utility. This isn't about chasing the latest shiny object. It's about understanding how AI can make your life easier, your teaching more effective, your leadership more insightful, actually useful.
Okay, let's unpack that a little. What does that actually look like?
Well, Rajhans really zeroes in on this idea of prompt engineering. And you don't have to be a tech wizard to grasp this. It's surprisingly accessible.
I was really struck by how clearly he breaks down prompt engineering in the book. It's like suddenly you've got this secret code book for unlocking AI's true potential, right?
Absolutely. It's about learning how to craft the perfect instruction to get the AI to do what you need it to do. Let's say you need a concise summary of a complex research paper. Prompt engineering can help you with that. Or maybe you're stuck trying to brainstorm creative solutions for a problem. The right prompt can unleash the AI's generative power and help you break through that barrier.
It really highlights how AI isn't here to replace us, but to augment our abilities, almost like having a superpowered research assistant.
Right. And Rajhans uses some really compelling real-world examples in the book to illustrate this. For example, did you know the Associated Press is already using AI to automate some of its financial reports and sports recaps?
No way. So it's not some far-off thing. It's happening right now.
Exactly. And think about the time that frees up for journalists. Instead of spending hours on routine reporting, they can focus on more in-depth analysis and investigations. That's a huge shift.
That's incredible. So we're talking about AI impacting not just what we do, but how we do it. And speaking of big changes, we can't talk about AI without looking at decision-making. Rethinking with AI spends a lot of time on how AI can analyze mountains of data, spot patterns we might miss as humans, and even simulate future scenarios.
Right, and it gives some fascinating examples of this in action. Like, think about Walmart. They're using AI to optimize their inventory in a really impressive way.
How so?
So by analyzing sales data, seasonal trends, even things like weather patterns, AI is helping them predict what people are going to buy and when.
Wow, so it's like AI is giving them a crystal ball for their business.
Exactly. This kind of predictive power is a game changer. It means minimizing waste, maximizing efficiency, and ultimately making smarter business decisions.
That's amazing. But it's not just retail giants like Walmart utilizing AI in this way. Rethinking with AI also talks about how Shell, the energy giant, is using AI for something even bigger, planning their energy transition strategy.
It's a perfect example of how AI can help us tackle complex, large-scale problems. They're using it to model different scenarios, considering things like climate policies, renewable energy adoption rates, all these massive factors.
So instead of just reacting to changes in the energy market, they're using AI to get ahead of the curve and make more informed strategic decisions. That's incredible. But before anyone starts picturing a world run entirely by algorithms.
Right. Let me jump in there because this is crucial. Rajhans makes it crystal clear that human judgment isn't going anywhere. In fact, it's more important than ever.
It's not about replacing us, but giving us the tools to make better decisions.
Exactly. Think of it like this. AI gives us the raw materials, the insights, the predictions. But it's our human experience, our ethics, our intuition that guides how we interpret and act on that information.
So it's a partnership. We bring the human element, AI brings the data crunching power. And that takes us to a realm where I think AI has the potential to be truly revolutionary education.
Imagine a classroom where AI tailors lessons to each student's individual needs.
We're talking personalized learning plans, real-time feedback, even identifying areas where a student might be struggling before they even realize it themselves.
And this isn't just some futuristic fantasy. Artificial intelligence highlights how platforms like Newton are already using AI to make this a reality.
I've heard of Newton, but how is it actually using AI?
They've developed adaptive learning platforms that constantly assess a student's understanding, adjusting the difficulty of the material and providing targeted support along the way. Imagine. No more one-size-fits-all lessons. Each student is on their own personalized learning journey.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal tutor for every student, helping them learn at their own pace and in a way that makes sense to them. But it doesn't stop there, does it? AI can also free up educators from some of those really time-consuming tasks that take away from actually, teaching.
Absolutely. Think about AI grading multiple choice quizzes, automating administrative tasks, even providing insights into student performance trends.
Mhm.
AI can handle the heavy lifting, which frees up teachers to focus on what they do best, mentoring, inspiring, and building relationships with their students.
It's about empowering teachers, not replacing them. And I imagine that same principle applies to the world of training. AI can be equally transformative in that space. We're talking personalized training programs, real-time feedback on performance, even staying up to date on the absolute latest industry trends, all powered by AI.
One example from Rethinking with AI that really captures this is Blue River Technology. They've developed this AI-powered precision spraying equipment used in agriculture.
Okay, now that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Right, but it's a real example of how AI is revolutionizing traditional industries. This technology uses computer vision to identify and target weeds in crop fields, which means they can drastically reduce herbicide use.
So it's more sustainable and more efficient, all thanks to AI. It's incredible to think about how this technology can be applied to training programs across all sorts of fields.
Imagine a world where AI can help you design the perfect lesson plan, training program, or business strategy, all tailored to your specific needs and goals.
It's almost like having a custom-made blueprint for success. But as with any powerful tool, we need to approach AI with a healthy dose of caution and responsibility.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
It's like you said earlier, human judgment is key. We need to make sure we're using these tools responsibly and appropriately.
You're absolutely right. It's about harnessing the power of AI while recognizing that it's just a tool. And that leads us to an interesting point that both books touch on, the future of AI in these fields. What trends are you seeing?
Well, one thing that both books highlight is how quickly this field is evolving.
Right.
It's mind-blowing. Artificial intelligence suggests we can expect even more sophisticated personalized learning experiences in the future.
Right. Imagine a world where AI can understand and adapt to a student's emotional state while they're learning, providing encouragement exactly when they need it.
It's like having an AI mentor who knows you better than you know yourself.
And Rethinking with AI has a really fascinating overview of some AI apps that are already making waves in education.
Yeah, they talk about everything from language learning platforms like Duolingo, which a lot of people are already familiar with, to AI-powered tutoring systems that give personalized support in STEM subjects.
And it's not just about individual apps. Entire ecosystems are being built around AI in education. Google AI for Education, for example, offers a whole suite of tools for everything from virtual reality experiences to classroom management.
It seems like a lot for teachers to keep track of. Where do you even begin if you're just starting to explore AI?
That's a great question, and Rethinking with AI actually addresses this directly. Rajhans argues that the most important thing is to approach AI with curiosity, not fear.
Don't let the technology itself be a barrier.
Exactly. He encourages listeners to start by just exploring some of the AI tools that are already out there. Experiment with them. See how they can make your life easier, your work more efficient, or your teaching more engaging. You might discover your next favorite tool.
I love that. Don't be afraid to play around with it and see what it can do. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something. Artificial intelligence touches on the idea that a significant development we can expect to see is the rise of even more sophisticated personalized learning experiences.
Yes, and that gets us back to this idea of AI as a tool to enhance human connection, not replace it, which is a crucial distinction.
Absolutely. Because at the heart of education, leadership, and training is that human element, right? AI can enhance those connections, but it can never replace them.
Couldn't agree more. It's about remembering that while AI can help us analyze data, automate tasks, and personalize experiences, it's ultimately up to us as humans to decide how to use those capabilities to create a better future.
That's a powerful thought. So, with all this in mind, what would you say to someone who's listening to this right now, maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this talk about AI? What's a good first step they can take?
Well, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool. It's not here to replace us, but to help us be more efficient, more creative, and ultimately more human.
It's about working with AI, not against it. And that requires a certain mindset.
Absolutely. A mindset of lifelong learning, a willingness to experiment, adapt, and collaborate.
Because the future isn't something that happens to us, it's something we create. And with a thoughtful approach to AI, we can build a future where technology empowers everyone.
I think that's a great point to end on.
It really is a fascinating time to be at the intersection of technology and these fields. So much potential for positive change.
I agree. And a lot of it comes back to this idea of rethinking AI, which
Right.
is really at the heart of Mohit Rajhans' book. It's not just about the technology itself, but about how we as humans choose to interact with it, shape it, and integrate it into our lives in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. It's about harnessing its power for good. It's
Yeah.
about using it to augment our abilities, not replace them. It's about remembering that technology should serve humanity and not the other way around.
Well said. It's been a fascinating dive.
To you listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and its impact on education, leadership, and training. We hope this episode has given you a new perspective on how these technologies are shaping the future, a future that you can be a part of.
Remember, the most important thing is to stay curious, stay engaged, and never stop learning.
Until next time. So we've talked a lot about the potential benefits of AI, but what about the potential downsides? Artificial intelligence dives into some of the ethical concerns surrounding AI.
Yeah, and this is where, things get really interesting, but also a little bit, I guess you could say,
Well,
concerning.
it's not all sunshine and roses,
Exactly. And one of the biggest concerns is, of course, algorithmic bias.
which basically means that AI systems can inherit and even amplify the biases that already exist in the data they're trained on.
Precisely. So if the data itself is flawed, the AI's output will be flawed as well.
Which is a pretty sobering thought when you think about how much of our lives are already influenced by algorithms.
It is. And it underscores the need for, responsible AI development. We need to make sure that these systems are being developed and deployed in a way that's fair, equitable, and transparent.
Absolutely. And that's something that both Rethinking with AI and artificial intelligence really emphasize. It's not just about building cool technology, it's about building technology that benefits everyone.
Right, and it's not just up to the tech companies to figure this out. It's a conversation that we all need to be a part of. Educators, leaders, policymakers, and everyday citizens.
Because ultimately, AI is a reflection of ourselves, isn't it?
I think it's a really profound way to put it. It's a mirror to our values, our biases, and our aspirations.
And the choices that we make today will determine what that reflection looks like in the future.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
I guess I would just leave our listeners with this. Don't be afraid to explore the world of AI. It's not just for tech experts anymore.
It's for everyone.
Exactly. There are so many amazing resources available, many of them free, that can help you get started. So be curious, be open-minded, and most importantly, be an active participant in shaping the future of AI.
I love that. Curiosity, open-mindedness, and active participation. Those are definitely words to live by. To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of AI. We hope you've learned something new, challenged your assumptions, and maybe even left feeling a little bit inspired. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking the big questions.
Hear, hear.